was so sad and depressed, and I would with a huge ego and a really low self-esteem, if that makes sense. But for 21 years, I was so depressed for up to the past few months, or past year, 2 years. I got even darker and darker, but I accepted it and thought, oh, it's just me. That's just how I am. Like, I literally, it's been so long that I don't remember what it was like to be happy, to not wake up every day and just be like, man, crap, I woke up. And then the irony of that is, like, at nighttime, right before going to bed, I'm scared to die, but mad when I woke up, you know. But I found my way back to where I left him, and it was the death of my father. Suddenly, tragically, you know, I was texting him 30 minutes before, and then you get a call that he's dead, you know. And he was a God-fearing man, and, you know, like, he was a wonderful person, a wonderful dad. And all of that came somehow for me to find my way back to where I left God, because unbeknownst to me at that time, after he died, I have friends at work that just Christian guys, people that instead of me going further away from God, further in the way to my agnostic or atheistic views or arguments or logic against God, I still had friends that I was around every day. One who went through a similar situation with the loss of his father. And somehow I got closer, you know, like to the idea of, like, okay, maybe, you know, like, I would have thought before it would have pushed me further away. Why would you take him? He was so good, blah, 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 you know, whatever. Until one night, you know, everything just got so, like, you know, when somebody told me that, like, my darkness and depression, the person that truly knew me, you know, for so long, like, I would just bring everybody else down to my level if I kept going, you know. Instead of people being able to bring me up, I was bringing them down to my level of despair. So between the death of my father and that it was like, man, it's now or never. Like, it's like, you know, there's the tree where my father died. Literally, he died in a tree accident, you know, like on where I live, you know. It's like, I used to say, like, oh, I finally found my spot. Like, after he died, like, I found my spot. If I could just get the cojones up to do it, I finally found my spot to take my own life. Like, it's so prophetic, or you know, whatever, it's so poetic, or whatever, you know, not prophetic, but poetic. And but then it was like, I knew that night, like, it just hit me, like, I felt like somebody saying, son, like, what are you doing? And I just knew, like, God, like, I don't know what to do. I make every wrong decision in my life. I make every wrong decision I do, and the few right decisions I make, I do so much wrong after that, I might as well make the wrong decision in the first place. And I was like, God, like, I just can't do this anymore. Like, I gotta believe in you. I can't just believe in you. I have to, like, fully submit to you. You have to take over, because I can't run away anymore. And it was, I did. I fully, in my bed that night, I cried for 30 minutes. And even though I'm crying now, like, I never cried before about anything, you know, hardly at all. And I felt him. I felt him. And I knew something changed. Like I could feel it, I felt it. And I had felt the peace, and I woke up the next morning, and it was like a switch. I didn't feel any depression, no anxiety, no sadness. To the point where, you're kind of confused, like, wait a second, like 21 years of every day is the same. And that night, I had a dream. And you know how in dreams you have conversations with people, you say things, people say things, but it's more like, I don't know what the word is, I'm not that smart, but like, you perceive what's being said or you're saying or whatever. And in that dream, I've never had an audible dream, like where I could hear, like fully hear, not perceive it, but hear it. And I had two voices. I heard two voices in, like, just in your ear, in your brain, loud, thunderous, as real as I am right now in this truck. And those two voices, the first one said, "Hail Satan, he is here." And the second voice is thunderous and terrifying but beautiful sounding voice. Told me, it doesn't matter what you do, you are mine, you always have been and you always will be. And like, I actually said, "F you, Satan." And I don't know what he said after that, but he was livid from that. And I don't remember what he said after that, but I woke up and I remember waking up and saying out loud to myself, well, that's not cool, that's not cool. But I had brought it up the next day to a guy at work, the one that had lost his father as well, but he pretty much put it in a way of like, that's, dude, you've been running with him the whole time, he's never had to talk to you, but like, you just voluntarily run with him. Like, you didn't even question it. You just did it for so long. And you were doing good works and for him that you didn't even know it, man. And like, he's like, the moment you turned around, that's when he's like, whoa, where are you going? To try to discourage you with that. He said, that just means what you did and what you said to God, and you spoke to God and you submitted yourself, actually was sincere, and it's that serious. Like, man, it essentially helped change my perspective on that dream, and he was right, like, he's right. And I've had other signs, like good signs, like I literally, because I was so confused for 2 or 3 weeks even after that sign, okay, yeah, this, because I'm so confused, like, why am I happier? Why am I feel good? Like, why am I what's wrong? When's the switch gonna flip again? And I was at my father's grave, just asking him, talking to God, whatever, and I was like, man, like, did this work, Dad? Like, did this work? And can God can you give me a sign? Like, did this real? Because I'm already like questioning, already. Like, why? Even though I already know it worked. Like, I feel so, you feel it. Everything changed, even my demeanor, my day, everything. But I'm still like, oh, I gotta have another sign. And I got on my motorcycle. I left there and I got on my motorcycle and I had to get gas. And I looked down at the bike, just looking at, or, as I'm riding, I looked at my mileage or whatever or something, and, You know, it's the old Victory, and then, you know, just single little thing there. And I saw the digit 6110, and something in my head said I have to, that just seared into my brain. You got to look up, you got to Google Bible verse 6110, and that's the only prompt you give it. Like, just, you, like 6110, you absolutely have to do this. No ifs, ands, or buts. And it was 6110. Like, oh yeah, I just, like, it become seared into my brain. So it's the moment I got to the gas station, I turned the bike off and I pulled out my phone and I typed in Bible verse 6110. I didn't even know it was 61, whatever, you know. And that's all I typed in, and it come up with Isaiah 61:10. And if you look that verse up, it fully answered my question. Like, it answered my question, like word for word. You are covered in righteousness, you're covered in salvation. Like, you are covered. That was the verse. Not a horoscope, kind of like, oh, you can take a guy from January and put the horoscope from, you know, May, and he, oh yeah, that's me to a T if you just flip May and January. No, there was no stretching. There was no, it was word for word the answer to my question. And I've not questioned it since, but now what I'm questioning, for all that long story or backstory, is I told God, like, God, I will submit to you. And I thought, man, I'll submit to you every day. I was like, I would say that for months, on the past several months, every morning. But I'm like, wait, I'm still doing things that are not submissive to Him. Knowingly and unknowingly, maybe. Because I'm now in information overload of, like, I grew up Southern Baptist, but then these things of, like, the Orthodox and the Catholics and the practices and the traditions of the early church, the beginning. None of that takes place where I'm from, what I come from, and where I'm at. And it's like I know my dad. Like, it's not a question of Protestant, like, oh, salvation. I'm not questioning that. But I'm at this, like, if there's a way that I can get 5%, not just what I've got to do on a day-to-day from inside of myself and my daily, like, routine and just daily demeanor, daily thing, my brain, whatever, my heart, I've got to keep changing and working on. But, like, just the guidance and the path, if there is a path of a church that can help me get 5% closer than I possibly could any other way, 5% closer to God, like, I told God I would submit, you know? And I don't know how to do that fully, like if I'm not, like, doing the things He said to do, or doing the things that was laid out so early. Because, like, how do we know anything from 500 years ago? Probably, like, everything. I'm just so confused. I'm just really confused. Not in my heart, like, you know, but I just want to be closer. Like, I don't even care about, like, seeing my dad again. I don't care about, I don't even know, like, if I care about heaven or hell. I think I just care about being closer to my Heavenly Father. I think I just care about being closer to God. Because I squandered the times that I could have been with my earthly dad, you know, like times that I would see him from my house, and he would be where I'm going from his building, and I'd be going home from work, because we live close, you know, close together. And I'm like, oh man, you know, I could go out there and talk to him, because he'd be walking from his building to his house, and I could go out there and talk to him. Like, no, I'm tired, like, I spent a long day, it's hot, I just want to sit on the couch and watch TV. He'll want to talk for 30 minutes. And I squandered those opportunities, you know? I squandered them. But I don't want to squander that with God. But I'm so confused on how to, like, what to do and what path to go, because it's just information overload, which is it's cool and it's great in one way, but you know, I guess I'm just asking, like, just people's their own paths, and you know, expansion walks, and you know, they feel, you know, like what they feel in their churches and what they feel in their paths and in their life. I'm just so confused, and I know I will find it. I know that, but I just want to know. I'm curious. I just want to know what you got. Like, if anybody even sees this stupid video, you know, like if anybody even sees it, just one person, just somebody random, any advice, where they went, where they've came from, where they're going now, where they're feeling led to. Do they have these same questions? Because I just want to be closer to him, and I know, like, it's all in here. Yes, I know that it's all in the heart and your day to day, but like these things like Eucharists, and I just want to know, like, are there things, those things? Not saying, you know, you have to do them or don't have to. I'm so confused on that too. But like, if it's sincere and they were there from the early churches, and it's meant to humble you, and things like that are meant to bring you closer internally to him in some form or fashion, however that works, am I not supposed to do that? Are we not supposed to do such things? Because I just want to be closer to him. I don't want to squander anymore. I don't want to squander any more time, and I'm still doing it. I'm still doing it. So I know I've got the things I've got to work on before even all of that. But like, I just need a path, or at least an idea of a path, not the branches of different paths. I mean, I'm so confused. There's a million different denominations. And the Protestant side, everybody's this, they're back. I'm so confused, and I just don't want to. I don't mind being confused. It's whatever God's will is. I know that, but I felt this overwhelming need. I had to, like, make a video, and like I said, if even one person sees it, man, just tell me, like, what your experience and where you're at and your paths, and what you, even if you're happy with where you're at, or if like, no, I'm feeling, man, maybe I'm not feeling, like, maybe I know there's more, and I'm looking into this too. But I'll let that be, man. Like, I don't know, like, from the first time this past several months, I have empathy and I have love, and I have never actually had that in my whole life. So I love you guys. Anybody, just one part, man, I don't know, anybody, like, whoever gets this, I love you, even if we were to never have a communication on there or anything, like, we're on here, you know, like, I love you, and I sincerely mean that, which is crazy, because several months ago, I just didn't give a crap about anybody except myself. But I do, like, I sincerely love you, whoever you are. I just ask if you write something out, like, it ain't about, not even like words of encouragement, that's not that, like, I want to know about you, like, I want to know about you, like, your path, where you been, and like where you're spiritually at, and where you're trying to go, or whatever, like, it's not about me of words of encouragement. I want to know, because I want to find my path, and if somebody else's path sheds light, God's like, hey, this is why this video was made, for you to read this, and this person's experiences, you know, maybe that's why. I'm just curious.